Obviously, it's been a rough day for me personally. I'm not going to lie. I have a ton of faith in the Lord and in His plan, but at the end of the day, it's still been a tough one, and it will be tough on me for a little bit. But as I just kind of reflect tonight, I know the Lord's working through it. I know Jesus has a plan through it. I know He's trying to grow me in something, teach me something.
Yep, it happened. It happened. I'm devastated. Beyond devastated. I can't believe that this actually happened to me. It feels like I'm dreaming. And I've started Sports Talk with Brodes off like this before. I have stated, I feel like I'm dreaming. After a W and the Eagles are, say, I don't know, 8-1. But this is different. This is absolutely different. Carson Wentz's injury tears his ACL, and devastation is just the only word I have for it, besides depressed, upset. I can't comprehend this. I'm truly on a whole nother level of just upset. I can't even process this. To me, and I know people are going to hate on it, and I don't care. I've been ripped for it. People have agreed with me. And at this point, the Super Bowl hopes are absolutely done. Now, I've heard on the radio from former Eagle players, there's other players on this roster. There is a team, other 52 players that you're going to say don't put as much effort as Carson Wentz does. There's a head coach that does not put as much effort as Carson Wentz does into winning. I get all that. I get it. Other players do it. We still have a great team. But when it comes down to it, my expectations for this football team was to win a Super Bowl because of Carson Wentz's skill. We are no longer able to do that with Nick Foles as our quarterback. We still have great pieces. We're going to win out the rest of the season potentially, playing the Giants, who are obviously clearly struggling. We still have the Raiders on Christmas and the Cowboys. I get it. These are games we can still win, and we clinched the NFC East beating the Rams, and it doesn't even feel that way. It doesn't. Winning the game meant nothing because of the price that we had to pay of Carson Wentz. So, whatever. At this point, we are 11-2. And we can still get a bye week and make the playoffs with a bye, but it just doesn't matter, in my opinion, because we have someone like Nick Foles, who is fine, who's great for getting through games as a backup quarterback, which is his job. But when it comes down to having to take down somebody like Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. As the head coach, Doug Peterson, as the players in the locker room are going to say, which they should, to the media, that we still have a chance to do this. We trust our guys. Next man up. I mean, Carson's even said it. He was waiting for all the boys in the locker room to congratulate them for winning the NFC East, which is still crazy to me because it doesn't even matter. I would have been so hyped to win the NFC East and know that we were going to the playoffs. Doesn't even matter to me anymore. That was such a great football game until that point. Such a great game. I've actually made Pat McAfee's Instagram page for being pissed off once Nick Foles comes in. And we can play that out loud here. Absolutely hilarious. At this point, we are sitting at 23,806 views on this. Let's play this out loud.
He hit our left tackle with a pass. Fuck you!
Just looking back at this video, looking at my face, looking at the frustration in the F-bomb, I was so upset. I didn't even know how to handle myself. I think I didn't say a word for 20 to 25 minutes afterwards. My roommates had to give me a kiss on the head. That's how upset I was. But like I said, we ended up winning the game, 43-35 in a thriller. Carson Wentz, before the injury, threw for 291 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception on the first drive that actually got tipped. It was a tip ball. It hit his receiver. It was tight coverage, but the receiver did not come down with it. It got tipped in the air. It got picked off, and the Rams ended up coming in hot to start the game. So let's talk about the game. I can sit here and cry about Carson Wentz all I want, and I will. I will absolutely do that even more. I guarantee it. So let's go over the game. So like I said, Carson Wentz throws it to Nelson Aguilar, hits off his hands. Gurley ends up scoring a touchdown to make it 7-0, but we respond with a beautiful, absolute beautiful drive. And Selleck scores a touchdown. Zach Ertz was not able to play. And clearly he's okay with his tight end sneaking in because Burton ends up getting the next touchdown to make it 14-7. And it just had this different feel. You come from Seattle and you look at that slop that we played in, and the energy level was just totally different. Opposite, complete opposite. This team looked like the team that I sat there and watched every single game before Seattle. And it's kind of killing me right now to go through this. It's killing me. Because I know everything that I'm talking about right now when Carson Wentz was still in the game does not even matter to this point. I want to hear your thoughts. If you think I'm being ridiculous saying that it's over, let me know. Tweet at me, at sportsandbrodes. Call into the show using your voice recording app on your cell phones and send it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com. Talk about it on the message board system at www.sportstalkwithbrodes.boards.net. The link is in the bio. I'm not being ridiculous. I hope I'm wrong, but there's just no way that I am. People are making the comparison that Case Keenum and Nick Foles are similar, and Case Keenum's getting the job done. The way Carson Wentz extends his plays, you're not going to get that out of Nick Foles. The way he escapes the pocket, makes defenders miss. I mean, he's a threat. The way he changes the plays at the line of scrimmage, he audibles out, he kills plays. We are losing so much. And I get that we have 52 other guys. I said it before. We have a strong, strong team. I want to say our defense is strong. It clearly is, but I'll be honest, Todd Gurley torched us. I mean, he played phenomenal. The Rams, I mean, we let up a lot of points. The Rams went through our D. I still believe in our D, don't get me wrong. And like I said, we're going to win out the rest of the way, or whatever, lose one, doesn't matter. There's just no way that we are going to be able to beat teams with elite quarterbacks in the playoffs. There's just no way. And I totally just ditched what happened in the game because I got too upset thinking about how we're just not going to have it. We're just not going to have it this year. We had such high expectations. We really did. Super Bowl was actually a possibility and a real possibility. We were so close to actually getting it done this year with talent. We had the talent. And to make it worse, they're saying that it might even affect next year, but let's not even go there. Let's not even think about it. But I'm devastated. I'm hurt. And I'm allowed to be. And I'm allowed to vent. And I'm allowed to say that it's over right now. Because he was the team. He was the emotion. He was the passion. He was it. He was it. And it's all over. Just like that, it's all over. It's Philadelphia sports. That's what it is. And I always said, this is the new year. This isn't going to happen to us. Don't even think about the curses. This is the Philadelphia. This is what happens to us. There's no way we're going to win the Super Bowl. Don't think that way. I said that all year. Well, guess what? Now you can think it because it happened. So let's go back to where we were. There was 4th and 1 at this point. We're up 14-7. Like I said, we're a different team this week. Now that I'm looking at my notes, that's what I have written down. 4th and 1. Live and die by it, Doug. I said, live and die by it. If that's where you're going to be, if you're going to be aggressive, go for it. And he does. He rolls to the right to Aguilar, and we get the first down. And Trey Burton scores another touchdown. Just loves the tight end to make it 21-7. And they respond. 21-14. Here's a play here, and it's big because Doug got criticized last week for not throwing the flag. There was a terrible spot by the referees giving the Rams a first down. Clearly, a whole entire yard short. I mean, without a doubt. Throw the flag, Doug, which he does. And we get the correct call by the refs to make it 4th and short, and they end up giving us the ball back. 4th and goal with 14 seconds left in the half. We kick the field goal. We get the points. 24-14 was halftime score. I will take that. I thought the first half was great. I would have liked to stop them on some of their runs. I thought that our defense got torched a little bit by their running game, but props to Gurley. I mean, he's no joke. He's a legitimate stud in this league. So the first drive of the third quarter, the Rams get a touchdown to Sammy Watkins. And then they block a punt. But it came off the left side. Corey Clement did not block the inside guy. Not only did they block this punt for a touchdown to make it 28-24, but the punt right before that, they showed a replay, and it was actually almost physically impossible that they did not block that punt as well. The ball just missed the forearm of the same side, of a guy coming from the same side. So we got lucky on that one, and for the next punt for it to actually happen is just pathetic, and it's a special teams breakdown. That's something we're totally going to have to fix. You can't be letting that happen. Late in the game, we got bailed out by an unsportsmanlike call on Alshon Jeffrey, and then there was a late hit personal foul, and then this is when Wentz gets in for a touchdown, and there was a holding on the play. It gets brought back, and this is where he gets hit and gets his injury. He dove into the end zone, and it's football. I'm not mad at the play call. I'm not mad that, it's football. You have to realize it. This stuff happens. It happens all the time. It's a physical sport. Carson Wentz saw the end zone, and he ran in there, and he tried to score for his team. I'm not upset about that. But it kills me that he got hurt. I mean, it kills me. I literally thought we were going to win the Super Bowl this year. I did. And that's great. Cool. We're going to go to the playoffs. I want to cry. I did cry. I'm just not ready to right now. Doug Peterson goes for it with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left in the third. And I disagreed with this call. 4th down. We were down at this point. 28-24. We kick that field goal there. We make it 28-27. Now, I said I don't care what happens on this play. I absolutely disagree with the call. Carson Wentz is standing in the pocket, clearly hurt. Apparently, obviously, at this point, we know that it is a torn ACL. And he throws the ball. Not to Alshon Jeffrey. But Alshon makes a remarkable catch that should not have been caught and realistically was not the proper play. And we got lucky and got away with one. I disagree with going for it in that situation. But Doug Peterson did it, and we took the 31-28 lead. But it was not the right call. I'm sorry, it was not the right call. Then our defense gets beat again, and the Rams take the lead 35-31. Carson Wentz at this point is out for the rest of the game. Season is over, I have here. Now, I know I was running off emotions. I had a couple cold ones with the boys while watching this game. I was upset. Did not talk. Forced fumble. I'm sorry, at this point it's 35-34 after we get a field goal with Nick Foles. Now, there was a forced fumble by Chris Long. And that was when the game changed over. The defense made a huge play. After getting beat all night through the running game, Chris Long comes up huge for the defense and gets a forced fumble. I was dying laughing because Nick Foles on this drive after getting the fumble recovery hits our left tackle, okay, with a pass. And that is where my video on Pat McAfee's Barstool show showed up, because in the beginning I laugh about him hitting our left tackle before I erupt. We hit a 54-yard field goal, but get a personal foul and a first down. So then we result in hitting a 33-yard field goal to take a 37-35 lead. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left with Nick Foles up 2. Let's see what we can do. He throws a well-placed ball. Nelson Aguilar makes a great catch. I'll give him props. He made a great play there, Nick Foles and Nelson Aguilar, both of them. Our defense on the last play of the game gets a touchdown because they were going for their play where they just keep laddering the ball, and we end up getting a touchdown. We are NFC East champions, and the score was 43-5. So that is what occurred for the Eagles. If you look at my tweets, what has my life come to? Can you tell I'm handling this well? I put up a video of me in the shower crying with the song about, you know, the dog commercial where dogs that get abused and all that. Yeah, that with me crying in the shower with Carson Wentz as the caption with emojis. I also tweeted. There was a poll. What is your reaction to Carson Wentz's injury? You had 4 options. We had 127 results. Our 4 options read this. Crying, 1. Crying, 2. Crying, 3. Crying, 4. And the percentages follow. 46% said crying. 17% said crying. 18% said crying. And 19% said crying. I am handling this terribly. I can't believe this is happening. My mom thinks that I'm being ridiculous and I should still believe in the team, which I do, but I don't. I don't think a Super Bowl can be won with a backup quarterback. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I will not be mad if I'm wrong. You can all yell at me and say, Brodes, you were wrong. That's fine, because I'll be celebrating down Broad Street. This is just new news to me. It's shocking. I'm upset. I love Carson Wentz. I would give my knee to Carson Wentz. I've tried to. I've absolutely tried to. Let's end this here. Let's end this here. I can't do this. I'm getting upset. I'm getting worked up. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. Let's go around the NFL. Take a deep breath. I'm taking a deep breath. On Thursday Night Football, the Falcons beat the Saints, which is huge because I wanted the Saints to lose. See, I'm literally ready to discuss the NFC. And who I want to see in the play. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. The Bills and the Colts played in this snow fest, and it was ugly, brutal football. It was so ugly. No one could throw the ball. They did very limitedly, if that's even a word. The Bills ended up squeaking it out in overtime, 13-7. I mean, it was a garbage football game. It was entertaining, though. It was like an entertaining garbage game. I kind of enjoyed it. There was so much snow. It was an intense amount of snow to make it kind of fun. So here's another NFC matchup that was very important at the time. The Panthers end up defeating the Vikings. So the Vikings take a hard L to improve or to make their record 10-3. While Carolina sitting at 9-4, with the Saints sitting at 9-4, the Rams sitting at 9-4, Atlanta at 8-5. Moving along. The Packers almost lose a game to the Browns in overtime. I really thought that was the game. Josh Gordon getting some numbers. Deshaun Kaiser actually had a strong performance at times and showed some greatness. Brett Hundley, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns. Deshaun Kaiser, 20 of 28, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ended up throwing interceptions there late. Josh Gordon, 3 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown. They're going to get one. They're going to get one. Jimmy Garoppolo gets another W. 2-0 now as a starter of the San Francisco 49ers. The Chiefs beat the Raiders. The Cowboys smoked the Giants 30-10. The Jaguars The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Seattle Seahawks 30-24 to improve to 9-4. What? Is that real? Who would have ever thought about that before the season started? The Jaguars' D is so tremendous. Dare I say Blake Bortles is doing okay? I was a firm hater of him. I still don't think he's anything special. Leonard Fournette with 101 yards on 24 carries. But they beat Seattle. I mean, that's no joke. And then the Ravens and the Steelers in a wild Sunday night game. The Steelers win 39-38. They find another way to win. I don't get it. They just find ways to win late. You ready for these stats? I don't think you're ready for Antonio Brown's stats. 11 receptions, 213 yards. Le'Veon Bell, 48 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 77 yards receiving, on top of James with 97 yards receiving. Ben Roethlisberger threw 66 times, connecting on 44 of them, 506 yards to defeat the Ravens. Currently, the Dolphins are playing the Patriots. It's 20-10, and I need to keep Landry from getting 10 points in fantasy. I haven't watched the game right now, and I'm really banking. Oh, no. Jarvis Landry with a touchdown pass. Can this day get worse? Maybe. I have finals all week. My 2 finals are tomorrow, so I've been grinding. I don't want to check the score. 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 I'm checking the score. I'm losing. I lost. Oh my God. Jimmy Graham gets me 0 points. I thought he was a red zone factor, huh? I thought he scores in the red zone all the time. 0 points. Deep breaths. Deep, deep, deep breaths. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I'm done with football. I'm done. What else do I have to talk about? I don't even want to talk about the Sixers because that's been ugly. I mean, their loss against the Lakers, pathetic. Pathetic. Brandon Ingram ends up hitting the buzzer beater. And I thought that was going to be okay, right? No, because it happened all over again. And Embiid doesn't play against the Cavs. The Sixers take the L. And then no Embiid last night with back soreness on a back-to-back against the Pelicans. We take the L. It's just falling apart for me right now. This episode is strictly being upset about everything Philadelphia. But hey, we can go positive if we want with this Philadelphia Flyer squad. They put 3 games together to get 3 dubs in a row after that terrible 10-game performance of not getting a W. Right? I know they play tonight. Now, I know they play tomorrow night against the Maple Leafs at home. They improved to 11-11-7, and the Maple Leafs are hot. I mean, they're 20-10-1. So we will see what happens to them. They're showing me a little bit of hope. The Sixers trade Jahlil Okafor, Nick Stauskas, and a second-rounder for Trevor Booker, who has been playing very well, actually, coming off the bench. And that's our problem. We need bench guys. We need players to be able to come off the bench and help because we get outscored with our bench players all the time. You look at another team's bench compared to our bench, and it's not even close. Not even close. I still have hope for this Sixers squad. Ben Simmons needs to learn how to shoot the basketball. He's left wide open all the time because they know he's just going to drive and throw up this floater. It's ridiculous. Shoot the basketball. But for Booker last night against the Pelicans, he played 25 minutes. He had 16 points, 9 rebounds. And even Holmes has been playing great off the bench, bringing energy. But we just need more. He had 12 points and 9 rebounds. The Sixers are 13-13 at this point. We got to get a W. We need to get W's. Looking at their future games, they play the Timberwolves on ESPN tomorrow night at 9:30. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, that's no walk in the park. And then on Friday night, they play the Thunder. Now, I know the Thunder's 12-14 and they're struggling, but the 12-14 in the Western Conference is a little bit different. And we have a couple nights off. We play the Bulls, Kings on a back-to-back. So, we're gonna have to find ways to win. We're gonna have Embiid play. You get Carson Wentz injured, and then in the same night, I get a notification that Joel Embiid is out with back soreness. Is his back going to give us problems again? Just throwing it around a little bit. College hoops. Kansas has lost back-to-back games. I am sure that the Kansas Jayhawk fans are not excited with that at all. I mean, that's pretty big news. I love me some college hoops. I definitely love college hoops more than the NBA. It's pretty much up there with football for me. The NFL and college basketball for some reason is way too close. So, speaking of college hoops, by the way, Duke fell on college basketball Saturday. A nice college game day for college hoops. That's also a great time of the year when that starts to happen. They fought at Boston College in the Conte Forum. Boston College storms the court. That was a fun game to watch. I love watching Bagley, though. He is something serious. He is a legit factor for that team. He is a legit prospect lottery pick for the NBA, and I love to watch these guys who are going top in the draft. You love to watch them grow as players. Because you watch their game develop over time, and when they become studs in the NBA, like I believe Brandon Ingram is on his way to be a young style of play as Kevin Durant. But I remember watching him play in college, and there's going to be 5 years down the road where this guy is serious. And it's like, yeah, I remember watching him play back in the day in the tournament. Switching over to some college football real quick, just to throw it out there. The Army-Navy game was awesome. Somehow, Army finds a way to win after a field goal miss late in the game for the opportunity for Navy to take it. And Baker Mayfield wins the Heisman. Now, it was kind of an easy one. No one was really surprised. But his story, being a walk-on and being a senior, and his story just was truly remarkable, and people are hating on him to be like a Johnny Manziel. Oh, he's never going to pan out, and I don't want to fall into the trap. Why? Just because he's a white college quarterback who grabs his junk on the sidelines and is all about, I'm sure partying. You can't just compare the two. You got to let Baker Mayfield have his own path and figure out where he's going to go moving forward in his own personal NFL career. I mean, there's no comparison between the two. If it does happen, it's not because of anything other than they're two different people, and they're going to go through their own paths and journeys. So, and it all depends on where you get drafted. You get drafted to Cleveland, it's a mess. Say he gets drafted to New England and learns under Tom Brady. It's a different story. So the scenarios, because he's not going to get drafted as high as Josh Rosen and some of these other quarterbacks that are ready to go right now, as they say. So you're just going to have to wait and see. Now, is this serious? Is this right now? I'm now seeing a tweet online from R.J. Bell. Super Bowl odds: Patriots 3-1, Steelers 5-1, Vikings 9-1, Eagles have dropped to 12-1 odds. I can't believe they're even that high. I can't believe they're even that high. Insane. Absolutely insane. And how about this? I'm going to end it on this. I know this episode was, a little bit down in the dumps. In reality, what do you expect from somebody who, sits here and bleeds Eagles, bleeds Philadelphia sports, but the Eagles, and having such high expectations for this team, actually believing that this is the year that the Eagles can win the Super Bowl. And I even got sympathy from texts from New England Patriots fans, Dallas Cowboy fans, Detroit Lions fans, and a bunch of others saying, damn, we did not want to see this happen. because everyone knows you don't wish injury upon anybody. It's all legitimate sports fans that respect the game and don't want to see other athletes hurt. You want to see the athletes perform. Obviously, you don't want to see the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl, but if Dak Prescott goes down with a serious injury when he's 13-3 or has a great record and MVP-like stats, you don't want to see somebody go down regardless. So it just hurts, and right now I am just venting in the only way that I know how, and that is being depressed and saying that it's all over, it's all over, it's all over, because I just can't believe that this is happening. As the rest of the season goes on, I'm clearly rooting for the Eagles to be able to win the Super Bowl. I obviously want them to win the Super Bowl. I want them to continue to win games. I want to see Nick Foles play extremely well, Case Keenum-like. I'm just upset. I'm just very, very upset. And I'm trying to handle this the best way I can. And I'm not handling it that great, and I know that. But it's all I got right now, is to vent and say it's all over. Just let me have some time for it to heal. Let me see how my team is going to play in the future, in the upcoming games. Although I think it's a different animal from these next 3 games that are easier squads to when we actually reach the playoffs and potentially playing the Rams, the Vikings, the Saints, the Panthers in the playoffs. It's just a different animal. So we'll see what happens. So I'm sorry if I upset anybody. I'm sorry for being down in the dumps. I'm sorry for being gloomy. Just work with me. So, follow me on Twitter at sportsandbrodes. Call into the show. Call me an idiot. Agree with me. Tell me your thoughts on Carson Wentz. Use your voice recording app on your cell phones and send it to sportsandbrodes@gmail.com. And lastly, the message boards forums. www.sportstalkwithbrodes.boards.net. The link will be in the bio. Let's talk about this Carson Wentz issue, please. Let's talk about this Eagles squad. Thank you guys for listening so much. See you guys next time.